This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
Party! The definition of the word party. Enjoy oneself at a party or other lively gatherings, typically with drinking and music. Synonyms: celebrate, have fun, enjoy oneself, have a party, have a good wild time, go on a spree, rave it up, make merry. A social gathering of invited guests, typically involving eating, drinking, and entertainment. Now we look at Sunday's party, and we look at the biggest party of the summer. Do any of those words correlate to what we seen on Sunday night? Enjoy oneself. Did you enjoy yourself during SummerSlam? I know I didn't. I know Baron Corbin didn't. I know Rusev didn't. I know Shinsuke Nakamura didn't. A lively gathering. I don't know whether we were in New York City or fucking Bumblefuck USA somewhere in the middle of Missouri. Typically with drinking and music. We had the music part. But it seems like people, they don't give a fuck if they were drinking or not. These people looked drunk before they even got to SummerSlam. What did I tell you guys on Friday? What did I tell you guys on Friday? Don't believe the hype. Don't fall for the hype. Don't add brownie points to an event simply because it's billed as the biggest party of the summer. Don't add brownie points to your score because it's SummerSlam, Summer Sham, Summer Scam. Don't do it. More likely than not, these big events will always leave you disappointed. A party is defined as enjoying oneself with others in a lively gathering. What we got last night was not each one of us enjoying SummerSlam. We didn't enjoy ourselves for 4 hours. Okay? Parties usually go for 4 or 5 hours. And I'm enjoying myself for the majority of the 4 or 5 hours that I'm there. I don't enjoy myself for 9 minutes here, and I don't enjoy myself for 16 minutes here, and then fucking sit alone in a corner crying my eyes out for an hour and a half. You know? That's not a party to me. But that's what I was doing last night. That's what I was doing watching SummerSlam. I enjoyed myself for 10 minutes here, 16 minutes here, 19 minutes there. And then the majority of the time, I was fucking disappointed in myself. I felt embarrassed. I wanted to legitimately cry. I felt angry. Why do I have to feel angry at a goddamn party? I mean, if the alcohol is running dry, then yeah, I'm going to be angry. But I don't want to be angry over Rusev losing in 9 fucking seconds. That's not a party to me. I don't want to be angry over Baron Corbin being buried. That's not a party to me. I don't want to sit back and watch Jinder fucking Mahal pin Shinsuke Nakamura. That's not a party to me. Was it better than last year? Yes. Yes, it was better than last year. That's not really saying much, being that SummerSlam 2016 was fucking god-awful. A nightmare. A nightmare that fucking Freddy Krueger couldn't even devise was last year's SummerSlam. It wasn't that bad this year, but it was pretty bad. You know, I conducted an experiment last night. Before we get into this review, and I break down this fucking shit like nobody else is gonna do on here. You know, I conducted an experiment last night as I left 205th. Thank you to Solid Monster and Justin LeBar for having me aboard for their Q&A. I left 205th, and we seen the crowd coming from the Barclays Center. So I was drunk. And every group that walked by me, I asked, what did you think of SummerSlam? The reactions and the answers that I got, I swear to God, if you guys heard this shit, which I do have on film, and I hope to upload sometime this week, if you guys heard the answers that came from these people's mouths, you will think that wrestling fans that attend WWE shows are the biggest idiots walking God's green earth. I heard answers like, it was great. It was good. I enjoyed myself. I give it a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. You're the reason why I went on a rant on Friday. You're the reason why people fucking give these shows well above average scores when it doesn't deserve one. And I made fun of these people. What the fuck were you watching? Why was it great? Because you sat there front row to watch Finn Balor come out dressed in paint? To watch Baron Corbin lose in 10 minutes? To watch Rusev squashed in 9 seconds? Yeah, some SummerSlam. Show was built around one match. Might as well have been built around one show, because SmackDown didn't do anything to get me excited. This was a one-show pay-per-view. Show was built around the Fatal 4-Way, and that was it. It took us 4 hours to get to the best match on the show. Yeah, there was other matches thrown in there that I enjoyed. AJ Styles vs. Kevin Owens. I enjoyed it. I liked the nice dynamic with Shane McMahon, and that was the entire premise of the match. How is he going to get involved, and what inadvertent fucking thing is he going to do? Is he going to get in the way of Kevin Owens? Is he going to take a phenomenal forearm by being in the way? Something along those lines. Is he going to miss a foot under the rope type deal? Right? So I like the dynamic there. Tag team title matches for both shows were fantastic. Oh, but Brian James said, what difference does it make that the Usos and the New Day are on the pre-show? It's going to be seen by everybody, though. But then I was being texted pictures during the pre-show that the entire pre-show was in front of about 200 people because the Barclays Center didn't open the doors till about 6:30. So at that point, WWE didn't realize, we'll push these matches back. We'll figure something out. No, we'll just send the Hardys out there in front of nobody. It's like they're practicing at the fucking Performance Center in front of nobody. Might as well just fucking not even have the match happen. Pretty much. It's like the match didn't even happen. Right? Then you got the Tag Team Championship match on SmackDown Live with the Usos and the New Day. Probably the only thing coming out of SmackDown Live that I actually gave one fuck about. And it's on the pre-show. Nobody seen it. Nobody wanted to watch it. Nobody could watch it because the Barclays Center fucked up. But then you got Brian James telling everybody on Twitter, oh, what difference does it make? People are going to see it anyway. It's still a part of the show. Yeah, the best match, what could have been the best match on the show, wasn't even on the main show. But we got Big Cass and fucking Enzo. Big Show. Short cages. Yeah, I'd much rather see Enzo oil himself up and escape the fucking shark cage than the Usos win the tag team titles back from the New Day. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. Yeah, because Big Cass and Big Show screams SummerSlam. It screams party. No, it screams me fucking wishing I had a noose. I wish they would have hung me from the fucking shark cage. I got this review up late because I was physically exhausted from the weekend. I watched this show twice. So don't ever tell me that I never did anything for you. I watched this show twice. I watched it once drunk, And then I watched it once this morning with eyes wide open. And I still didn't like what I seen. Drunk, I didn't like it, and I even hated it even more after this. My opinion still stood. Nothing changed from the drunken viewing that I seen of SummerSlam 2017. Everything that I thought was exactly the same. I just was sober. This was not a party. This was not the biggest party of the summer. This was the biggest embarrassment of the summer. If you can sit back and say, yeah, that's a SummerSlam that we're all going to fucking be talking about for years to come. No, it's not. No, it's not. WWE gets by booking around one fucking match. And then everything else is sloppily put together. And you're expecting me to care about it. Brooklyn did not give a fuck about SummerSlam unless Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns were in the ring. I mean, they finally came alive for the tag team title match from Monday Night Raw when Cesaro ripped apart a beach ball. If that's what's going to get these people excited, then you did a shitty job at booking SummerSlam. A lot of things did not make sense last night. A lot of things did not make sense last night. And I don't want to be here to tell you I told you so, but I told you so. I went into this with absolutely no expectations. So, I knew the disappointment was going to be there. It's just the WWE continues to outdo themselves every fucking week, almost. Like they're coming up with new ways to fucking make me and you feel like a bunch of blithering idiots. You ever watch that episode with Seinfeld where George wants to do the right thing, but he does the opposite of what is right? He does completely everything opposite, and he ends up being successful. He gets I think he gets a girlfriend, he gets a new job, he gets money, right? He goes walking into George Steinbrenner's office asking for a fucking job, dressed like a bum, tells George Steinbrenner off about how he thinks he's running the Yankees team and the franchise into the ground, how he's been happy with management decisions. They give him a fucking job with the team. They give him a job with the team. A traveling road agent to the New York Yankees, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken. So every time I come on here and every time we discuss WWE on here, we're going to do the opposite of what WWE should do. Because that's the decision that WWE is most likely going to go with. They are the George Steinbrenner in that opposite episode of Seinfeld. That's how they book their shows. Because everything that makes sense doesn't come to be. They do the opposite of what makes sense. And if you don't agree with me on that sentiment, just watch this show. Because the things that should have been never happened. The things that needed to be done did not happen. Don't sit there and tell me that SummerSlam was a fucking 8, because it was not. That main show, that main 4-hour show, outside of the main event, outside of the Raw Tag Team Championship, and outside of the United States Championship, was a complete waste of my fucking time. A complete waste of my time. Don't sit here in my comment section and give it an 8. 8.5, 9. This is not something that is, worthy of those type of scores. Don't give brownie points because you were at the event. Don't give brownie points because you took your fucking son to the show. Don't give it brownie points because you had an overabundance of fucking Miller Lite and you enjoyed yourself. No. I don't go to shows to get drunk. I don't go to shows to drink. I go to observe. And what we are observing is professional wrestling. Did we get professional wrestling that made sense last night? No. If you wanted that, you go back on Saturday night and watch how a show is supposed to be booked. It's mind-boggling to me how Brooklyn on Saturday night compared to Sunday night was, to me, bizarro world. Granted, it might be two different audiences, two different demographics. But the fact that they filled that Barclays Center with 16,000 fucking people for NXT TakeOver, and you end that show with 16,000 strong chanting Adam Cole. The fact that you got 16,000 people on their fucking feet, for Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas. Come on, man. Not everybody there is a fucking indie mark. You got some WWE casuals in there. There's no way you could tell me and watch these shows back to back that the real SummerSlam didn't happen on Saturday night. And it's a fucking shame. It's a really glaring statistic that every takeover that we see that precedes one of these big four pay-per-views outside this year of the Royal Rumble. Where was the Rumble this year? San Antonio? Right? Well, I was somewhere in Texas. Whatever San Antonio was, NXT Takeover San Antonio, it wasn't better than the Royal Rumble because NXT at that time was going through a transitional period. Okay? It was still a good show, but it wasn't like, oh my God, Takeover was fucking amazing. Still a good show, but they were going through a transitional period. They were losing a lot of guys. A lot of guys moved up to the main roster, and they put on a show with pretty much non-existent build, but it still ended up being a watchable show. Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view of the year, even if it was a really great takeover. It was going to be difficult to sway my opinion because I love the Royal Rumble. NXT Takeover Orlando was better than WrestleMania. To me, anyway. WrestleMania, to me, was overhyped, overrated, and nothing but fucking Undertaker talk and Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy talk. That's not a WrestleMania to me. It's not a WrestleMania to me. Okay? Plus 7.5 hours long. Give me a break. I don't do anything for 7.5 hours, let alone watch fucking professional wrestling in one sitting. The only thing I do for 7.5 hours straight is sleep. NXT TakeOver Chicago. Right? That was what, Backlash weekend? You know, I'm not even going to compare the two. NXT TakeOver Chicago was better than WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, better than SummerSlam. NXT TakeOver Houston is going to be better than the Survivor Series in November. Do you see a trend here? Do you see a trend developing? How is NXT blowing away main roster? How? Why? When you got a roster like you do, and this SummerSlam card in front of me right now, when you have a card like that, how are you not putting on like the best fucking show of the year? Why am I sitting here telling you that of all the pay-per-views that we see in this year, SummerSlam is the third worst pay-per-view of the year? Is that fair? Is that fair? And yes, it was the third worst pay-per-view of the year. The only ones that beat it out were Battleground and Fastlane. How is that possible? Why am I sitting here telling you that? Oh, but JD, you're so negative, man. I don't know what the fuck you watched, but SummerSlam last night, to me, did more negative than it did positive. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was an overall miserable show, but it was bad. It was bad. Don't talk to me if you think this show was good. 4 hours and 3 matches that stick out to me on a 4-hour show. That's less than a match per hour. So you're going to base SummerSlam off of, after all, if they have one good match per hour, that is okay by me. That's okay by my standards. So that's how you gauge pay-per-views. If that's the case, that's a 4 out of 10 to me. You got 12 matches on the show. What happened to the other 8? And in this case, the other 9. If 3 matches to me stuck out on the main show, what happened to the other 9 matches? Why didn't they stick out? Why didn't I care about those matches? Because they weren't good. Because there was nothing there for me to bite into. You know? When you go to the deli and you order a fucking sandwich for lunch, your mouth begins to water when you look at the fucking menu and you look at all the deli meats in the fucking window, right? And then you look at the cheese. What type of cheese you want to put on there, man? What type of toppings? You want lettuce, tomato, pepper, right? Cheese. You want some nice ranch, mayo, right? Some oil and vinegar, whatever the fuck you put on your sandwiches. Your mouth starts to water. And you take a bite into it, right? That's like fucking heavenly. That's the way SummerSlam should be built. It should be built like a fucking sandwich. We should all care. We should all physically fucking care about everything on a SummerSlam. SummerSlam for 4 hours and it performs 12 matches and you're only happy with 3 of them, to me that's not a good show. That's not a good show. I'm going to continue every single time to keep telling you guys exactly how I feel and what I want and what I expect. Whether you agree with me or not, I don't give a shit. But it's very difficult for you to sit there watching me telling me that I don't make sense. It's very difficult for you to sit there and tell me that, you know what, JD, you're an asshole and you're wrong. No, I'm not wrong. I may be an asshole, but I'm right. You just have some fucking dilemma going on. You're really having a very difficult time grasping at the fact that the truth is out there. You just refuse to see it. The truth is SummerSlam sucked. 3 matches does not make a 12-hour, 4-hour pay-per-view. A 12-match, 4-hour pay-per-view. It doesn't. I'm sorry that you can't handle the truth. The people that I walked by on the way to the Barclays Center, everyone that I asked, they couldn't handle the truth. Some getting salty at me. Some actually throwing your mother jokes out at me. People asking me, what's your problem, man? Are you mad because you didn't go to the show? No, man, I'm laughing at you that you paid money to go to the show. I'm laughing you actually paid money to go to the show. Oh, but JD, you let him enjoy himself, man. I'm not here to fucking listen to how well you enjoyed yourself. I'm here to tell you what I seen. I'm here to open your fucking eyes. SummerSlam was garbage. SummerSlam was garbage. You paid money to watch a 4-hour fucking embarrassment of a party. You went to a party that ended literally 4 hours later, and you didn't take the pretty girl home, you didn't take the pretty blonde home, and you didn't get a fucking hand job in your car on the way to her apartment. That's what you went to. You failed. This party failed, you failed, and I don't feel sorry for one fucking sucker that paid money to go sit in that arena last night. SummerSlam, people, was on Saturday night. I highly recommend you go back to the WWE Network and tune into NXT Takeover Brooklyn, because that was SummerSlam. What we got last night was nothing but a 4-hour glorified Monday Night Raw with a massive main event. That's all it was. Let's go over this fucking show, man. I want to thank everybody for showing up to the bar. 205th was fucking awesome. You guys were great. I want to thank everybody that made me feel more special than I really am. The pictures, buying me drinks. You guys are fucking awesome. At one point, I had 3 drinks lined up because people were buying me drinks, man. You guys make me feel fucking good. And I appreciate every fucking one of you for coming out. The Q&A with Solid Monster was good. Sitting next to Solid Monster and Justin LaBar, 2 of my favorite podcast guys. It was an honor and a privilege to sit next to those guys. I want to thank all the WWE2K guys that I met. I finally met Luigi. I met Pulse, and they're so nice in person. Luigi was a sweetheart. Macho T, as always fucking great hanging out with him. I met Emu, Tony Pizza Guy. You guys are fucking awesome. Thank you guys so much for being nice to me and making my SummerSlam weekend very, very memorable. I wish SummerSlam itself lived up to its own end of the bargain, but they did not. They failed me. They failed me miserably. The kickoff show, the Hardys and Jason Jordan versus The Miz and the Miz Taraj. Here, WWE starting off the fucking show with nothing but illogical booking. Skull-crushing finale to Jason Jordan. Why is Jason Jordan taking the pin here? Why is Jason Jordan, who you're building as Kurt Angle's son, why is he taking a pin in a match? Well, I don't even know why I'm complaining about it. Nobody fucking seen it. Nobody was in attendance to see it, so it might as well have not even fucking happened. Nobody gives a shit about the Miz and the Miz Taraj versus Jason Jordan and the Hardy Boys. This is a match thrown together simply because the Revival got hurt and the Hardys' plans were ruined for SummerSlam. That's all. That's all that is. Skull-crushing finale to Jason Jordan. Doesn't make sense. It happened on television, but nobody's seen it in the crowd, so whatever, man. It is what it is. Embarrassment. I heard the Barclays Center didn't open their doors until like 6 o'clock, 5:45, 6 o'clock. The pre-show. Pre-show had to be from 5 to 7. I don't even know why the pre-show was even a thing. Why book these matches on the pre-show? Nobody gives a shit about this match. Cruiserweight title was Neville versus Akira Tozawa. Neville wins the Cruiserweight title back. Why did you take the title off of Neville? Why did you ruin his long, lengthy reign as Cruiserweight champion only to give it back to him? Is nothing important to the WWE anymore? Did they want to do shock value? Did they want to surprise the fuck out of you watching Monday Night Raw? It's not like the crowd gave a fucking single fuck about the Cruiserweight Championship match on Monday Night Raw. Nobody gives a shit about the Cruiserweights in general. So why would you risk Neville's lengthy reign and take the title off him for a surprise victory for Akira Tozawa, and then have Akira Tozawa lose the title and Neville gains it back on Sunday, less than 7 days from when he just won it? Why? I just don't get it. There was a superplex that was broken up, and then Neville was on the ground. Akira Tozawa went for his big backsplash, but he had knees into his back instead. Neville blocked it, goes up for the red arrow, hits the red arrow, wins the title back in 10 minutes and 47 seconds. Do I care? Yeah, I care. I care that you took the title off of Neville when it should have never been taken off of him. Period. The title should have never been taken off Neville. So fucking stupid. WWE thinks they're doing a good thing by doing these back and forth hot potato title switches. No. Akira Tozawa was never meant to beat Neville. You did it simply to pop a rating. And what happened? Nobody cared. And you just make yourself look like a fucking idiot in the end. SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Usos versus the New Day. Another thing. Why did you take the titles off the Usos if you're just going to give the titles back to the Usos? I don't get it. If you wanted new champions, the Usos should have never lost the championships, and the New Day should have won the titles back at SummerSlam. But I'm not going to complain here. A, the Usos are the best tag team probably in the WWE, and by that, they deserve the titles. B, I don't see where this Breezango shit is going, because they're baby faces, and if they're going to come back and enter the tag team division again and actually wrestle and go for the titles, I can't see it being done against the New Day, even though I think that would be entertaining. I can't see WWE doing two face teams going at it for the tag team titles. I guess it really wouldn't matter in that case. But what is more bothersome to me is that the Usos were so hot at Battleground, going into Battleground, they took the titles off the Usos. They dropped the titles. There was a big tag team title change at Battleground, which is probably one of the worst pay-per-views in the last decade, right? Critically panned by everybody. You do a big title change there. For what? What did the Usos do to deserve having the titles taken off of them? Only to give it back to them at SummerSlam? The New Day had no reign. The New Day did nothing with those tag team titles. I don't even think they defended the titles coming out of Battleground. This was their first title defense. So why? It makes no sense to me. Now, if the Usos are the champions and you're going to give a nice rub to Breezango, then yeah, I don't mind. But if the titles were meant to change at SummerSlam, it should have been the other way around. The Usos should have held the titles all the way into SummerSlam with the New Day becoming the new champions. And then maybe put Breezango over the New Day. I think that'd be a nice rub for Breezango. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking things. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Maybe I'm just a clown. I don't know. I'm tired of thinking about decisions WWE's made. It will really drive you into the mental institution. Usos win the tag team titles back. Apparently, there was a Superfly splash that got a 2 on Xavier Woods. He gets back up with a Koji clutch on Jay. Looking like he's been watching those Sami Zayn tapes while he's in the Uber. Shining Wizard gets 2 more, and the Midnight Hour plants Jay with Jimmy diving in at the last second for the save. Woods charges at Jay, who launches him over the top into a Samoan drop on the floor. Big E spears Jay through the ropes, only to have Big E and the big ending broken up by a blind tag. 5 super kicks and a double superfly splash at 19 minutes, and the Usos win back the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Big double superfly splash to Big E. I was happy. I just never thought the Usos should have lost the tag team titles to begin with, because they are the best tag team in WWE right now, and by that, they should have never had the titles taken off of them. John Cena and Baron Corbin opened the show. WWE, I didn't think that you could get any worse than what you did on Tuesday night, but seemingly you always outdo yourselves. In fact, I didn't really expect to see an unadvertised buried alive match. I don't throw the word around a lot, but Baron Corbin, ladies and gentlemen, is buried. The lone wolf is now extinct. This match went 10 minutes, and it was absolutely god-awful, sleep-inducing garbage. Baron Corbin had one thing and one thing to do. Put his fucking credibility on the line and come out looking like a superstar. 10 minutes with John Cena, Baron Corbin looks worse than he ever did in his entire WWE run. This match was 10 minutes, and it ended like that. Deep 6. Corbin gives John Cena a 2 count. John Cena comes right back out of the deep 6 with an attitude adjustment like that. And that was it. That was it. If you thought Tuesday was the beginning of the end, Sunday night at SummerSlam was the fucking burial. They lowered the casket. The wolf is now extinct. And Baron Corbin's career on SmackDown Live is pretty much done and over with. Buried. There's no way Baron Corbin comes back from this year. He is pretty much non-existent in future WWE SmackDown Live plans. I don't give a shit. I told everybody at the bar Baron Corbin should have been given an opportunity with the briefcase and the WWE Championship. What I booked for Baron Corbin was so much better than what we got. Not surprising. I'm not surprised by it. How I booked Baron Corbin and the WWE Championship match was much better than what we got presented to us at SummerSlam. Baron Corbin should have been given a shot with the WWE Championship. He should have been given at least a month or 2. If you weren't happy, you always had that out in Shinsuke Nakamura, because Baron Corbin, according to my plans, would have cashed in on Jinder Mahal, made the WWE Championship match last night a triple threat match, and he would have pinned Jinder Mahal, becoming the new WWE Champion. Instead of what we got Baron Corbin buried, and we had Jinder Mahal pinning Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah, your plans were so much better than my proposed plans, Vince McMahon. Really, you gotta go. This guy's gotta get the fuck away from the WWE. Because with shit like this, and ruining talent like this, and making decisions like you did last night, please, you're only embarrassing yourself. And you make us look stupid because we continue to fucking watch, hoping it gets better, and it never does. You just insult our intelligence even more week by week. Fuck that. Baron Corbin does not deserve a 10-minute match with John Cena, only to lose to an attitude adjustment, 1, 2, 3 like that. He should have been given a shot. The Money in the Bank briefcase is the most exciting thing on the calendar year. That cash-in is what people wait for. Now, granted, you don't have to have the guy win and cash in successfully every time, but that's what people want to see. The briefcase is given to someone who WWE deems the next in line. Whether that's immediately or 12 months from now, it doesn't matter. He is the next in line. If Baron Corbin wasn't the next in line, he should have never been given the briefcase. WWE failed. I'd like to thank Baron Corbin for his time on SmackDown Live. Now he has a permanent place in Titus Catering. What they do with Baron Corbin from here, I have no fucking idea. But whatever they do, I know for a fact, you, me, and everybody else watching ain't going to give a single fuck about Baron Corbin. His reputation is tarnished to the point where people now will forever think Baron Corbin is a loser. Simple as that. And I'm sad that I'm saying that. Because Baron Corbin had potential. Baron Corbin could have been the WWE Champion for a month or 2. Shake things up a little bit. But no. WWE wants to continue on this formulaic, stale, illogical road. By all means, have a blast. I'll be sitting here every fucking week getting more views and views and views while I cut your fucking product down, booking the show and the product better than what we're actually given. SmackDown's women's title. Natalya versus Naomi. Oh my God, I couldn't wait to talk about this match. Obviously, the wild card here is Carmella. Did we see Carmella tonight? No, of course not. Carmella was nowhere to be found except on the pre-show in pitch black darkness on the panel with Renee Young and fucking Jerry the King Lawler and Booker T. Pitch black darkness because WWE didn't want it to come off on television as the crowd being empty while the matches were going on. Carmella holding up the briefcase. Yeah, the wild card, right? She is a wild card. In fact, I predicted Carmella to cash in and fail on Naomi. What we actually got is Naomi losing the title. Natalya is your new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. What sense does that make? I don't know. Naomi really didn't do anything with the title. Naomi's reign consisted of Lana every single week. That's it. That is it. I don't think Naomi got a fair run with the title. Yeah, she's held the title since WrestleMania, but in that time, she's done nothing with the Women's Championship. Now we got a glow-in-the-dark fucking title around Natalya's waist. I don't see why Naomi lost the title. The marketing with the glow-in-the-dark title, that would have been great. You could have sold that on WWE Shop. You know, there's a bunch of little girls that want to parade around the house in their pajamas wearing the fucking glow-in-the-dark WWE Women's Championship. Why not? I don't see why Naomi losing the title makes any sense here. Especially to Natalya. I love Natalya. I think Natalya may be one of the best workers in the company as far as women go. But for her to deserve a title reign, there had to be some reasoning behind it. The only thing I can think of is that she's had a long tenured WWE career and they wanted to reward her. Natalya's been much better as a heel, I'll give her that. But I have no interest in Natalya fighting anybody with that Women's Championship. Now, what this means to me, I'm making a prediction right here. I think Natalya won the title, and I think Carmella's going to cash in on Natalya on Tuesday. I think Carmella is going to cash in, win the title, and then Naomi's going to take the title back from Carmella. Or it's going to be a triple threat. They're going to involve all three women in some way. But I think a cash-in will happen on Tuesday. We got that discus clothesline that Natalya does, drops Naomi, but Naomi comes back with a side Russian leg sweep. Naomi starts to declare that it's glow time. She starts doing her dancing kicks that look awful, by the way. Natalya pulls her down to the mat. Back up. Reverse Rings of Saturn is reversed. Natalya reverses the Rings of Saturn and turns that into a sharpshooter. And surprising to everybody, Naomi tapped. At 11 minutes, Naomi tapped. She loses the Women's Championship. Natalya is your new Women's Champion. I think we see a cash-in on Tuesday. I think Carmella becomes the Women's Champion. And I think Naomi is going to chase Carmella and then win the title back eventually. That's just my prediction on that. Big Show versus Big Cass. Again, I'd love to know why this match was not on the pre-show and the tag team title match for SmackDown Live wasn't put here. I'd love someone to answer me that question. Why? Why was this match ahead of the tag team title match? You mean to tell me a clown wearing wrestling paraphernalia who's got a shit emoji on his tights that's put in a shark cage is more important than the tag team titles between the Usos and the New Day? Yeah, because the crowd was so excited about this match, right? You could hear a fucking pin drop for 11 minutes during this entire match. And then the kicker, the shark cage is supposed to keep Enzo out of the match. What does he do? I've never seen anything like this happen in my entire life. Enzo oils himself up. He takes his clothes. He starts stripping in the fucking cage. And please, I want to interject here, now that I'm thinking about it. When you guys were watching the fucking match last night, unfortunately watching the match last night, and Enzo started to do his fucking dance, you know, the fucking shit that he does, this fucking shit, right, in the cage. When he starts doing that shit, was I the only one hoping that he would fucking actually fall, or the cage would come unhinged, and he would fall to the fucking mat, breaking his legs in the process? That would have been the most entertaining thing all weekend. In fact, I was hoping for that watching this match. Someone please tell me I was not the only one thinking that. And it's such an odd coincidence. I think it was actually done on purpose. Such an odd coincidence that Enzo has shit emojis on his wrestling trunks. And he wore it specifically during this match. Maybe it was a precursor. Maybe he was looking into the future. Maybe he was trying to discreetly tell us something. But you and I already knew that this match was going to be a huge shit emoji. Something that I thought I'd never seen before, or would see before. This was the first time for me. He strips into his boxers, he oils himself up, and he slips through the bars of the fucking cage. Meanwhile, it was supposed to keep him out of the match. So then he jumps down from the fucking shark cage. He climbs down very gently, because I know I wouldn't jump from fucking 15, 20 feet in the air if I'm hanging from a shark cage. He jumps down and he eats a big boot. Done. Done. He jumps down, met with a big boot, and he's knocked out. So Cass knocks him out. He's taking his pants off. He pulls out oil, covers himself with it. He slips through the bars. Enzo gets down. Cass kicks him in the fucking face with a big boot. A second big boot to the Big Show, and a big Empire elbow for the win. Someone please explain to me why this was on the fucking main show again. Did anybody in that crowd care? Nobody. This is your SummerSlam. This is your SummerSlam through the first 3 matches. John Cena burying Baron Corbin. Natalya winning the Women's Championship in something that doesn't make sense whatsoever. Carmella completely absent. No sign of a fucking briefcase or a cash-in, period. And then Big Show versus Big Cass. With a fucking clown wearing shit emojis on his trunks, slipping through the bars because he oiled himself up after stripping off his clothes. This is SummerSlam to you? Oh my god, man. Yep, you enjoyed the show, right? You enjoyed the show. That's why the crowd was fucking half dead for most of what we've seen already. You think it's going to get better, but it doesn't. Randy Orton and Rusev. This is WWE's definition of party here. Randy Orton and Rusev. You know? Rusev, poor Rusev, man. Guy comes back. You know? He is being built up after being in that horrendous stable, the League of Nations, right? He gets injured. He comes back. Starts demanding world title shots out of nowhere, right? Starts demanding world championship matches. Starts demanding Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan start paying him some attention. He comes back. He looks good. They took Lana away from him, but he looks good regardless. He challenges John Cena to a flag match at Battleground. He loses and is made to look like a blithering idiot. And then he comes into SummerSlam and throws out an open challenge for Randy Orton to accept the open challenge. So he comes back from shoulder surgery to fight John Cena and Randy Orton. Now, if you really wanted to push Rusev and you really wanted to get Rusev over, obviously, you guys know what should have been done. He should have beat John Cena and he should have beat Randy Orton. But WWE made it a point. WWE made it a point that John Cena has this SummerSlam losing streak, so there was no way that John Cena was losing. He was due for SummerSlam win. And why not? It's only Baron Corbin. We'll bury him. Randy Orton hasn't won a match since WrestleMania. So he was due for a win. Poor Rusev. Wrong place, wrong time. If there's one guy that I feel sorry for outside of Baron Corbin, it's this poor schmuck right here. Rusev has moved to SmackDown Live, and we all thought that he was going to finally get an opportunity moving away from Monday Night Raw, because there was nothing for him on Monday Night Raw. Rusev possesses talent. He's got a look that could get over. He could be a very, very good upper mid-card heel. What do? You'd think that the match is going to go in Rusev's favor. Randy Orton makes the introduction first. He comes down. He does his whole shtick. Rusev seemingly comes out of fucking nowhere and sneak attacks him before the match starts. I'm like, all right. Rusev aggressive. Even though this match means nothing, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't want to see Rusev win, because I didn't. Even though it doesn't mean anything to me, it'd be a nice rub if Rusev gets a clean victory over Randy Orton. So there's not much of a story. Randy Orton's there. He's still in his fucking vest. Rusev wanted competition. Orton answered him. Rusev jumps Orton during the entrance, beats the shit out of him on the outside. Then the bell rings. All of a sudden, as soon as the bell rings, an RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. 9 seconds. So WWE's version of the biggest party of the summer is burying Baron Corbin and Rusev in 9 seconds. Corbin in 10 to 1 AA. That is your version of the biggest party of the summer through 1 hour of this fucking show? I'll tell you what, after 1 hour, if that party is this shitty, I'm leaving the party. I would have left the party. And I would have went to a fucking hole-in-the-wall bar, and I would have fucking drank myself into oblivion. Fuck that. Instead of being subjugated to this fucking filth. Garbage. They should be embarrassed. How you even look at the fucking sheet? How you even look at the match card and decide, yep, 9 seconds. I understand there was no fucking story. I understand that there was nothing between these two guys at all, but 9 seconds? 9 seconds! Is that all Rusev is worth? There's one thing Rusev needs to do. Let's get away from SmackDown Live. Where else is there for him to go? Failed on Raw, is failing on fucking SmackDown. Why don't you move Rusev back down to NXT? My God, I can only feel, I can only just imagine how he feels following that match. Raw Women's Championship, Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. I mentioned this on my NXT Takeover review. If you guys want to go back and do some research on your own, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The psychology between Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss was god-awful compared to what we got with Ember Moon and Asuka. Now, Ember Moon and Asuka clearly blew away both women's matches. Probably blew away every women's match this year. But the fact that we got Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss, and WWE was pretty much telling the story that, you know, Sasha Banks kind of lucked herself in here, and this was Bayley's opportunity. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This was Bayley's opportunity. No. WWE had no business giving Bayley any opportunity, man. She had no business being in a championship match. Why am I to believe Bayley deserved the championship match coming out of Extreme Rules when you buried her in 5 minutes with a kendo stick match? Why? And then she comes out on Monday Night Raw to sit face-to-face with Corey Graves, and she's not upset about what's been going on with her. She smiles at Corey Graves and says, "Can I hug you?" You've been treating Bayley like a fucking piece of shit. Bayley has been looking like a complete buffoon on Monday Night Raw. She doesn't have any intensity. Every time I see Bayley, I cringe. It's to the point where I address her as cringely. And you know what the fucking sad thing is? This weekend in Brooklyn, the amount of males I seen wearing yellow and purple Bayley shirts made me sick. You really have to wonder these people's fucking intentions. You really gotta wonder about their manhood. Would you ever catch yourself wearing a yellow or purple Bayley I'm a Hugger t-shirt? Seriously. If you are a man and you have cock and balls in between your legs, what are you doing wearing a Bayley "Please give me a hug" t-shirt, or give me a "Let's be a hugger," whatever the fuck she says on those shirts? Are you kidding me? I want to see Bayley come out, and I want to see her have fucking her period. I want to see her angry. I want to see her fucking vengeful. I want to see her just come out and be the girl next door, but you know what? Be angry. You can't be nice all the time. That's not going to get you title shots. Bayley was never meant to be in this match, ever. As far as I see it, this is WWE and karma biting WWE in the ass. They were supposed to give Sasha Banks the rematches based on what happened at Great Balls of Fire. And I mentioned this. This was Sasha's match all the way. She didn't have to win a gauntlet match. She didn't have to win a fucking triple threat match. She didn't have to go through Nia Jax. This was her match. She was deserving of a rematch coming out of what Alexa Bliss did at Great Balls of Fire. So why are people upset that Bayley is injured and not in this match? In fact, the injury did us all a favor. We got the better match. Was this match good? No. WWE could have made it good. Instead of giving us just what we seen at Great Balls of Fire, I would have loved a Falls Count Anywhere situation. Because Alexa Bliss took the title and got herself intentionally counted out. Can't do that in a Falls Count Anywhere match. The psychology here was Sasha Banks being beaten down the entire match. It was slow. It was methodical. It never really picked up pace. You go back and watch Asuka and Ember Moon, and I'm like, what am I watching here? Why am I not seeing this on the main roster? And then you watch this match, and then you watch Naomi and Natalya, and I'm like, why are we getting the women in NXT every fucking takeover blow away the main roster women? Why? Why am I not seeing that intensity on the main roster and at SummerSlam? One has to wonder. One has to wonder. Sasha Banks was beat up this entire match. The shoulder was a big thing, right? Her shoulder was a big deal. She got thrown into the barricade. Banks made it back in because Alexa wanted another count-out victory. Banks made it in at a 9 count. And then that was followed by Twisted Bliss. She did Twisted Bliss off the top. Very anticlimactic. Very anticlimactic. So that led to a Banks statement. And Banks made Alexa Bliss tap. That's all it was. 13 minutes and 17 seconds. Sasha Banks made Alexa Bliss tap. Very, very anticlimactic. Yes, the right woman won. Yes, this makes sense. Yes, now Nia and Sasha can have good matches for the title. Maybe now Nia gets her shot at the Women's Championship. The most important thing here is that Sasha won the title in a match that she wasn't supposed to be in. Now, Bayley can have some resentment and finally develop some type of character and get angry at her best friend. And Bayley can finally get fucked over by Sasha Banks. Hopefully that's going to be the thing that turns Bayley around. Banks going heel. Banks taking Bayley's opportunity away and making the most of it. Because Bayley is jealous. And Sasha's like, Bayley, it is what it is, Turn heel. Boom. Done. Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. Still, I don't know why these guys are fighting. I just don't know why these guys are fighting. Why are they fighting? Why did this match happen on Monday Night Raw? That's the better question. Why did it happen on Monday Night Raw? I don't know. I don't think we will ever know. One thing I want to mention here. I would have never advertised the Demon King. I would have never advertised the Demon King. I would have had Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor for the first time on SummerSlam. What WWE did by putting this match on Raw a week early is they wanted to get Bray Wyatt to win, right? He beat Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw. They wanted Balor to be so upset and so angry that he got red fucking viscous liquid, they described it as viscous liquid. Whatever the fuck that is. He got this red viscous liquid poured all over him, and that's supposed to bring out the demon, right? So, clearly, they wanted to set up Balor losing, getting angry, him summoning his demons, and then we see the Demon King at SummerSlam. What I would have did is I would have had, if you wanted to do the match on Raw, fine. The match on Raw was actually better than what we've seen at SummerSlam. We got the match on Raw. Don't say shit about the Demon King. Make people wonder. Make people figure out the puzzle on their own. We didn't see the Demon since last SummerSlam in that Universal Championship match with Seth Rollins. So I want everybody to figure it out on their own. Will we see the Demon come back again 1 year later at this year's SummerSlam? Is he going to come? Is he going to be there? Build intrigue through that. What marketing effect did it have that you promoted the Demon King a week in advance? What did it do? It did nothing. Did it generate any excitement? No. The crowd was half dead for this fucking match. Minus Finn Balor's entrance. And is there any difference between Finn Balor and Demon King Finn Balor? Besides the makeup and the fucking dreads? What is the difference? Does he come out to different music? Does he wrestle different? Does he pull out a move or three that is different from his regular Finn Balor arsenal? What the fuck is the difference? I'm supposed to believe because he puts on fucking face paint that he's gonna be this undefeated creature? Come on, bro. So what you did here with these two matches is seemingly end this feud. There's no reason for this feud to continue. There's no reason for it. I don't even know why they're fighting. What are they fighting over? That's my thought on that. That's my thought on that. Coup de grace, 9 minutes. Another weak finish. Another weak finish at SummerSlam. I really don't get it. Crowd didn't really give two shits outside of Finn Balor. They like doing the whole fucking entrance thing with the arms in the air and the lights and the smoke. WWE apparently paid for smoke at SummerSlam, and good thing that they did because it just adds to his entrance, which is fantastic. But this was another weak, lame finish, you know? Balor gets a shotgun dropkick in the corner like he usually does, and he sets him up for the coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. Very, very anticlimactic. We knew it was coming. We knew Demon Balor wasn't going to lose. Very predictable stuff, but this was a 10 out of 10 SummerSlam. I'm glad you guys enjoyed yourself. Fuck out of here, man. More wrong with this show so far than anything. There hasn't been one good thing on this show. I think the best thing up until this point was the fucking KFC commercials they were showing. And Shawn Michaels gets negative points taken away from him because him dressed up as the KFC doing the fucking Shawn Michaels Heartbreak Kid pose, not really what I want to see. Especially not from a future Hall of Famer. Oh, but JD, you don't have a sense of humor, man. Yeah, that's exactly what I... What's next? The Undertaker dressing up in a chicken costume? Raw Tag Team titles. Sheamus and Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Finally, something I care about. One thing I want to make mention of here is the video package that they showed before the match. Fantastic. Them highlighting everything and how we got here and the fist pump. Great stuff. I talked about this match being the best thing on Monday Night Raw outside of the Universal Championship. And it has a lot to do with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Ambrose and Rollins and the dynamic that they've been playing with one another has been, I can't trust you, but I want to trust you. You know, I really don't trust you after what you did 3 years ago. I'm a changed man. That type of shit, right? Ambrose wants to trust Rollins, but he's afraid he's going to get let down again. Rollins is making the case, that was 3 years ago. That was a different Seth Rollins. I'm not going to do it again. We're better together than we are apart. Let's get back together and do good together. That was great. And the people exploded for the fist bump. But what WWE seemingly forgot going into this match is the whole dynamic that made this so great getting to this point. During this entire match that went almost 20 minutes, there was no dissension between Rollins and Ambrose at all. You know? I understand that they're going to put together their fists and they're going to become one and they're going to try and win the tag team titles as a team. But the best thing about this entire storyline was, you know, the back and forth. Oh, I can't trust you. Please trust me. We didn't see any of that dynamic in this match. We didn't see any dissension between Ambrose and Rollins. We didn't see two guys that are kind of wary of one another. We've seen two guys who fully trust each other 100%. And I was kind of disappointed in WWE's aspect that they didn't play off that important piece that made this entire storyline so great. I didn't want to believe that they were going to come into this event and try and win the tag team titles and be on the same page 100% for the entire match. No. I think it would have been bigger intrigue and it would have been a treat for the audience. And it would have been a bigger pop for the audience to see that them having, you know, some trouble getting along. You know, maybe a miscue in a tag. Maybe something stupid that Ambrose does to cost Rollins a portion of the match. Or vice versa. Something. They didn't play off that dynamic, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. Sheamus goes into the Cesaro rather goes into the crowd. Apparently someone was throwing a beach ball around, and I laughed because there was a few things I was laughing at. One, it goes to show you how the fans find amusement in anything but the match. And two, that's probably the reason why Cesaro went into the crowd himself and ripped the fucking beach ball to shreds. Because that, probably to him, is disrespectful. They got this great storyline, they got this great match going on, and they're throwing a fucking beach ball around. Watch the fucking match, but it's also like you trying to tell the fans what to do. You can't tell the fans what to do, man. They paid fucking money. They can do whatever the fuck they want in that show. You know? Let them have some fun. If they're not enjoyed by the fucking pay-per-view so far, which at this point, I don't know why the fuck you would be entertained. This ain't no party up until this point, man. This is fucking depression. Takes the fucking beach ball, rips it to shreds. Crowd going crazy with yes chants. Anyway, White Noise is loaded up, but Seth Hurricane Rana Cesaro off the top onto Sheamus. Crazy save right there. A jumping knee to the face by Rollins to Sheamus. Throws Sheamus right into Dirty Deeds. 1, 2, 3. We got new tag team champions. Finally, something that made sense. Finally, something that made sense. It made all the sense in the world for Ambrose and Rollins to win the tag team championships. Cesaro and Sheamus will probably get a rematch. They will be unsuccessful. Because the bigger story now here is, we got through point A. Now we're in point B. Point A was getting them together. The story of getting them together. The story of them trusting each other. Point B is them winning the tag team titles. Now, point C is going to start the dissension. And point C is going to start the dissension leading into point D. And we're going to get Dean Ambrose becoming frustrated, and he's pretty much going to turn heel. He's going to turn heel, and I hope it's the way that Rollins did to him 3 years ago. The same thing, costing his team the tag team championships this time around with a steel chair right to the back. That's what I think is going to happen, and I honestly believe the bigger story here coming out of this is yet to come. Ambrose turning heel, completely revamping his character. Inside Ambrose hides and lays dormant a fucking heel. If WWE can plan this out for the long run, if they can get this to WrestleMania, if they can get this to include Roman Reigns in some big match at Survivor Series, then I'll be all for it. The story could be told, stretched out over the year, culminating with Ambrose and Rollins at WrestleMania. I think that would be great. Does WWE have the patience to do that? Probably not, but that's how I would do it. This made sense. This easily was the best match on the main card up until this point. Ambrose, Rollins win the tag team titles. Finally, a good creative decision by WWE. U.S. title, Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. This was the other match that I honestly had some intrigue in, simply because of AJ and Kevin Owens with Shane McMahon as the special guest referee. This has been building over several weeks now, back and forth, flip-flopping the titles. Owens, it went to Styles, back to Owens, back to Styles. Owens feels cheated. Owens feels slighted. He wants good officiating to the point where he can finally get his championship match where he doesn't have to worry about WWE officials fucking him over. But Shane McMahon is in this match, supposedly going to call it right down the middle. Shane did get involved in this match. And not involved meaning that he fucked somebody over. He was just in the wrong situation. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. AJ is getting back up for a phenomenal forearm during one point in the middle of the match. Only to hit Shane by mistake. So he did take a phenomenal forearm. That means that there's no one to count the pop-up powerbomb that Kevin Owens delivers. So there's no one to make the pinfall. So Owens is arguing that, you know, you're falling off buildings, but you can't get up from a fucking elbow. You know? I laughed. He's like, you can fall off fucking buildings, but you can't make the fucking 3 count here. Laughed my ass off. AJ gets back up, knocks Shane to the floor by mistake. So again, Shane McMahon getting in the way. He gets knocked out of the ring. Calf crusher applied with Shane McMahon on the outside. Kevin Owens is tapping. So again, Shane McMahon wasn't around for both men's finishing moves. Everyone gets back in. AJ forearms Owens down, only to get caught in a spinning superplex. A spinning package superplex off the top that looked absolutely devastating. AJ comes right back with the Styles Clash, And the Styles clashes that AJ did in this match were very sloppy, and I'm guessing that has to do with him being tired, and Kevin Owens is no small man, but it is what it is. Styles clash for a close 2. Owens grabs the pop-up powerbomb for the pin, but AJ's foot was on the ropes, and Shane seen it at the last second. That means an argument with Shane and Owens leads into a roll-up for a 2. Pele kick sets up a phenomenal forearm, and then a Styles clash. AJ Styles retains the title at 17 minutes and 25 seconds. So we got 2 good matches back to back. I loved the dynamic with Shane McMahon thrown in there. This was easily their best match. Of all the matches that we've seen on pay-per-view, I knew that they had to be saving the best for last. This easily is the blow-off and the best match of the whole series that AJ and Kevin Owens had. Hopefully this moves AJ on to something else. I'd love to see him get mixed in with a newly signed Shelton Benjamin. I'd love to see him get mixed in with Chad Gable again. I'd love to see him bring back the US Open Challenge. I think that would be great. I don't know how long that would go on for. He'd probably run through half the fucking roster. But Kevin Owens now clearly is going to feel slighted again, being that Shane McMahon, he feels, didn't do a good enough job as an official, and this will lead to Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, and that's what we're seeing. Rumors have it that we're going to see a Team Owens versus Team Shane at Survivor Series, so we'll see how it plays out, but Styles is, and I hope, is moving on to something else. Owens and Shane McMahon seems to be the direction that WWE is going. But this was easily the best match of the series for Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. Owens loses, Styles retains. Styles clash at 17 minutes and 25 seconds. This is where my entire SummerSlam experience went right down the toilet. I don't know how WWE gets off by promoting Shinsuke Nakamura as a big deal, as this big superstar, this rock star. Then you put him in a match with Jinder Mahal and you give us what you gave us on Sunday night. How is that possible? How is that possible? Shinsuke Nakamura was undefeated in NXT for 1 year, close to 1 year. The only thing that stopped him was a man called Samoa Joe. Now, I have absolutely no issue with that because Samoa Joe is supposed to be a destroyer. Samoa Joe is that wall that not many people should be able to get by, including a Shinsuke Nakamura. So I was okay with that. But after a full year of dominance, Nakamura losing was a little bit easier to digest. You look at his main roster run on SmackDown Live, he's only been on SmackDown Live for 4 months. 4 months. Directionless 4 months. We got this dream match advertised a week out with Shinsuke Nakamura being put over clean over John Cena. John Cena put over Nakamura clean. So what does that mean to me? That means a lot of things to me. Number one, they trust in Nakamura. 2, they had Nakamura pin John Cena clean, so it looks like Shinsuke is going to be set up as the next face of SmackDown Live. Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura had nothing to do with one another. This match was poorly put together. Excuse me. Poorly put together. And as far as what you guys hear from me, you guys know how I feel about Jinder Mahal. The guy's a fucking failure. The guy is a failed experiment that should have never been given the opportunity. After all this time, dating back to after WrestleMania, I still don't see Jinder Mahal as the WWE Champion. I think he's doing a huge disrespectful job to the WWE Championship. And I stated this so many times, for all the fucking Jinder people out there that want to listen to me and fucking hype about how good Jinder Mahal is, how good of a fucking heel he is, right? I can counter every one of your fucking sentiments. If Jinder Mahal was so great, why is the WWE Championship looking like shit right now? Why does it look like shit? If Jinder was so great, he would make the WWE title stand out. Right now, the WWE title is the third most important title in this company. The third most important title in this company. Behind the Universal Championship, because Brock Lesnar holds that. And the championship looks better because Lesnar's holding it. AJ Styles is holding the United States Championship. That title looks even better than it ever has because of who's holding it. Same thing should be said to Jinder Mahal. You could have gone away from that and you could have made the title look good if someone like Shinsuke Nakamura was holding the title. But my main thing here is, if Shinsuke Nakamura beat John Cena clean, There should be no problem with him getting by Jinder Mahal, even with the numbers game in the Singh brothers. You know, WWE continues to fuck with all of our intelligence, man. They continue to fuck with all of our intelligence. Shinsuke Nakamura loses this match by a coloss. A sloppy, horrible-looking coloss, mind you, at 11 minutes. This was a television main event for SummerSlam. Why would you even dare put Shinsuke Nakamura in a television main event on your second biggest pay-per-view of the year? This was nothing more than a SmackDown Live regular Tuesday night main event. If this was SummerSlam, we were cheated. We were cheated out of a world championship. We're cheated out of a world championship because Jinder Mahal is holding the title, and we're cheated out of a world championship because WWE foolishly booked Shinsuke Nakamura to lose his first match on SmackDown Live. Is Shinsuke Nakamura special to you anymore? To me, no. To me, no. To me, Shinsuke Nakamura, in 4 months, has fallen victim to WWE creative. 4 months. He was safe down in NXT. They knew how to book him in NXT. He didn't show up every fucking week. He was only there when it mattered. And the undefeated streak, he ran through everybody. Nobody kicked out of his Kinshasa. Now he's taking pinfalls from fucking Jinder Mahal, who earlier this year was a fucking bum in Titus Catering, serving fucking cheesecake and setting out napkins and fucking paper plates. Are you fucking serious? When is this Jinder experiment going to come to an end? Seriously. This is fucking embarrassing. How are you going to have Nakamura beat Cena but can't beat Jinder Mahal? And what is with the same fucking endings with this guy's matches? Daniel Bryan runs the show. There's that one point that he thinks, well, this is a world title match. He's bragging about the fucking world title match to Kurt Angle. He said the WWE Championship match is going to be better than the Fatal 4-Way. He thinks SmackDown's going to steal the fucking show with their championship match tonight. How could that be done if it's the same goddamn ending every fucking time this guy fights? The WWE officials, SmackDown, Shane, Daniel Bryan, the referee, he should know what to expect with them fucking goons in yellow shirts standing at ringside are going to do. You should know what the outcome's going to be. I understand that Jinder's a heel. I understand that heel's got to cheat to win, but every fucking time? You booked this guy to cheat in the Punjabi prison. He won because of the great Khali. And now Shinsuke Nakamura has to suffer his first loss because you got to book Jinder to cheat? Shinsuke Nakamura is that important to you, right? Nakamura should have never been pinned. To me, Nakamura being pinned, his mystique, the rock star, all that shit, gone. Gone. I don't give a fuck about Nakamura like I used to. Not anymore. I thought right out of the gate it was too soon for him to win the world title. But what were you going to do? You took the briefcase off Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin should have been the one to cash in here and pin Mahal, instead of giving Shinsuke Nakamura an early title reign. It's too soon for him. But now that they took the briefcase off Baron Corbin, the only thing that would have made sense is Nakamura to pin Mahal and keep that string, that undefeated streak, that momentum going, because it's Shinsuke Nakamura. This is not fucking, Kurt Hawkins here. Nakamura loses. Now what? Now what? What, Mahal's a great champion because he pinned Shinsuke Nakamura? If you guys were watching, look at all the camera shots that WWE got of people just shocked and stunned. Shocked and stunned that Mahal won. The fucking sheer disappointment on everybody's face when Shinsuke Nakamura lost this match. They give him this grand entrance, and that's how they treat him. They put him in a World Championship match that was better off on a SmackDown Live. Absolutely fucking embarrassing. Baron Corbin should be the WWE Champion, pinning Mahal, setting up a triple threat match at some point in the future. Setting up Mahal versus Corbin. And then Nakamura getting the title off of Corbin. Corbin should have been given a run with the title for at least a couple of months. He always had that out in Shinsuke. Always. Now, we got one loss on the record of Shinsuke Nakamura. He's not as important as he was when he was in NXT. He's not. And if you think so, you're fooling yourself. He's not. The entrance and the music and the crowd singing along, it's fantastic. But what he's been treated like on SmackDown Live is downright embarrassing. To the point where, if he wants to go back to New Japan, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked he waits out his contract and goes back to New Japan. Absolutely embarrassing. WWE has ruined Shinsuke Nakamura. They buried Baron Corbin, they buried Rusev, and they treated Shinsuke Nakamura like a piece of garbage, just like everybody else. He's just like everybody else on SmackDown Live. That doesn't mean Nakamura is not going to get the title. But even that, it's too late. It's just late. It's too late. Jinder Mahal is garbage. Guy's got to get off my TV. The guy has to drop that title. He's making that title a fucking embarrassment. He is a fucking failure. And I can't wait for the day Jinder Mahal just goes away. He would be better off, and I would not be sitting here ripping this guy to shreds if he was a U.S. champion. I think that would actually get him over more as a heel. But being the WWE champion, people don't take this guy seriously. People take this guy just exactly how I take him, as a joke. If he was the U.S. champion, he could be that evil foreigner holding the U.S. title captive. That would be a better position for him, and that's a position I hope that he actually goes for in the near future. Maybe my whole perception of Jinder Mahal will change. But the fact that you gave Shinsuke Nakamura a loss at the behest of Jinder Mahal, that is downright fucking embarrassing, and something that A, I'm not surprised by. B, WWE, they clearly don't give a shit about anything. And they don't give a shit about keeping anything special. At all. Downright disappointment. Up until this point, this show was done to me. It took us 4 hours to get here. 4 hours to get to the main event. The Universal Championship match. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman. Was this the best match on the show? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Was I excited about this match? Absolutely. I watched this show twice. I enjoyed this match more than I did watching it last night. This was a great Fatal 4-Way match. A great Fatal 4-Way match. The one thing I don't like about this match, let me get that out of the way, because there was a lot I liked about the match. The one thing I don't like about the match is the way Brock Lesnar was taken out of the match and stretchered out, ultimately making it a predictable outcome. That's the only thing I didn't like. Now, the reason why I don't like that is because you took the Universal Champion out of the match. You don't think Brock Lesnar is going to come back out and try and fight no matter what injury he suffered at the hands of Braun Strowman? You don't think Brock Lesnar is going to come out and try to defend his title? You think Brock Lesnar is willingly just going to lose the fucking title and say, yeah, you know what, I'm stretchered out, I'm not going to fight this match, we're going to crown a new Universal Champion? Of course not. It's fucking Brock Lesnar. So taking him out on a stretcher only made things that much more predictable. The only thing after that we were waiting for is when he's coming back, who he's going to pin, and how he's going to win. That's it. Taking Brock Lesnar out of the match, taking the Universal Champion out of the match, made it too predictable. That's the only thing I didn't like about this match. I loved the stare-downs between Lesnar and Roman. It felt big. I loved how they made Braun Strowman look even more of a monster. Even look like more of a monster at the end of this fucking thing. Because he made a statement. Joe, I felt like, was the weakest in this entire match. I don't think Joe did anything in this match to really warrant, anybody thinking he should be the Universal Champion. I think this match actually did a disservice to Samoa Joe. I don't think he stood out at all in this match. Reigns speared Lesnar through the barricade within like 2 minutes of the fucking match. Speared him through the barricade. Then Braun Strowman picks up the fucking pieces. He power slams Lesnar through one announce table, power slams him through another announce table, and then takes the third announce table, and this was the most wicked spot. The power slams look good, but when Lesnar had that table flipped over on him, I thought that legitimately hurt Brock Lesnar, and in fact, I think it did. Because when Lesnar, at the end of this match, when he won, and he held up the Universal Championship. You clearly seen his legs bruised as fuck. That table, when Strowman flipped that table over on Brock Lesnar, that shit came down on his legs, and it looked fucking sick. It looked fucked up. Now, I know those tables are meant to break away. Maybe that table wasn't really meant to break away, but that table fucking rocked back and forth, and it fell. All that weight, that table, gotta be fucking heavy as fuck, fell all on the legs of Brock Lesnar. That looks sick. I'm surprised Lesnar was not legitimately hurt from that. Strowman was made to look like a beast. Strowman did look like a beast. He took Lesnar out on his own. Obviously with the assists, some assist points to Reigns. But it was Reigns, Joe, and Strowman for most of the match until Lesnar came back out. They stretched him out. He came back out. We seen Lesnar do his thing, right? He gave a nice F5 to Samoa Joe. Well, we didn't see really any more interaction between Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. I think that's all we got a taste of right there. It was mostly Lesnar with Joe, Lesnar with Roman, until he eventually did a beautiful F5. Well, fucking, what does Michael Cole say? An emphatic F5. It was fucking unbelievable. Picture perfect F5 to Roman Reigns. He pinned Roman Reigns. The right man got pinned in this match. I would not pin Joe, and I would not pin Strowman. Reigns got the pin here. He took the pin, and Lesnar retained. And that was the right thing. There was also another beautiful spot where Strowman threw some steel steps clear across the ring. Fucking unbelievable. Took another chair, another fucking announcer's chair, and chucked it at, I think it was Joe and Reigns. Looked fucking sick as fuck. This was a great Fatal 4-Way match, man. Another thing I do want to say is that I did feel underwhelmed. I felt like there would be more destruction with guys like this in this match. Yeah, they destroyed most of the ringside area. Yeah, I really shouldn't be nitpicking on that. All the announce tables got fucking destroyed, but I figured we see, like, something else. Something of a volcanic, eruption. More chaos. But I'm not going to complain. I think what they did in the beginning of this match with the table spots and the breaking of the barricade, it was really good stuff. Lesnar retained, and that's the right decision. That is the right decision. I don't know what they're setting up for. I know Lesnar is advertised for No Mercy. Braun Strowman made a case that he can take out Brock Lesnar. I don't know if they're going to book that match. I don't know if WWE is going to be too quick to book Strowman and Lesnar and have Strowman take the title off Lesnar. I don't see Lesnar losing the title right now anyway, because there's no reason for him to lose the title. He's not going back to UFC until later next year. But if I'm booking this and I'm Samoa Joe, I still vie for that one-on-one match. I still try and get that one-on-one match. I think, I said this in my preview. I'm glad Samoa Joe didn't win here, and I was going with Brock Lesnar because I think if Joe won the title here, which a lot of people want him to be the Universal Champion. They want him to be the champion. They want him on Raw. They want that legit Joe character holding the title and just running through the roster. The time is now to strike with Samoa Joe. You got to strike while the iron is hot. He's nearing 40, and he's been booked great in the last couple of months. So taking a shot on Joe right now would be a really good decision. But if Joe won the title here and he didn't pin Lesnar, say for example he pinned Reigns, he wasn't going to pin Strowman, he wasn't going to pin Lesnar. Reigns was always going to be the odd man out here to take the pin. So if he pinned Reigns and became the champion, that really doesn't fulfill his appetite. Because he's always stated he wants to make Lesnar tap. He wants to put Lesnar to sleep. So even if he did win the title, he'd still have that unanswered question of what if. I didn't pin Lesnar. I didn't beat Lesnar. My job is not done here. So in some instances, I'm glad Joe didn't win the title at SummerSlam. I'm glad Lesnar retained. If I'm booking this, I'm booking Lesnar and Joe in the main event of No Mercy with some type of stipulation, and I'm having Joe go over Lesnar. In fact, I'd have Joe tap out Lesnar with the Coquina Clutch. That's what I do. And I'd have Joe look dominant, beating the Beast one-on-one instead of having it in a Fatal 4-Way. So the right man won here. I just think WWE, went about it in a very predictable way. With him being out of the match for a little bit and being stretched away, there's no reason for anybody to believe that Brock Lesnar was not going to come out. Of course he was. He's the Universal Champion. He's not going to just relinquish the title because of what Braun Strowman did. It's fucking Brock Lesnar. Toughest man walking this earth. Of course he was going to come out, and of course he was going to defend his title with honor. Because if that was the case, you also had that stipulation that if he does not win this match, he and Paul Heyman leave the WWE. You know? Come on. Very, very predictable with that little thing thrown in there with him being stretchered out. Really didn't care for all that. But where they go from here, man, I have no fucking idea. I guess we'll find out on Monday Night Raw. Lesnar, the right man, won. Lesnar retains the title. And it was a damn good fucking main event. The fact that we had to wait 4 hours to get to the fucking main event is a little ridiculous. And the fact that this overall show was a piece of shit outside of the Fatal 4-Way, the U.S. title, and the Raw Tag Team titles. And the other great match that happened on this show was not even seen by the majority of the people. Was not even on the main show. The Usos and the New Day should have been on the main show. I don't know what their reasoning was, but maybe they didn't want another tag team match on the show. I don't get it. Nobody wants to see Big Show. Nobody wants to see Enzo. Nobody wants to see Big Cass. Why was that not given the black light treatment? Why was it not given the empty arena treatment? Come on, man. Don't believe and fall for the hype. SummerSlam was not good. You're not going to sit here and tell me out of these 12 matches that this is an 8 out of 10 show. 3 matches on this show entertained me. I'm not even going to say exceeded my expectations because nothing exceeds my expectations. I always go into these things fucking expecting disappointment. Were some booking decisions done right? Yes. Lesnar winning. The team of Rollins and Ambrose winning the tag team titles. AJ Styles retaining. Yes. But more times than not, WWE doesn't make a good decision. And they didn't make a good decision with this show. The majority of the show was not good. That's your review. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, hit that thumbs up and let me know what you guys are thinking of SummerSlam. I will see you all tomorrow morning for Monday Night Raw review. Sorry for the late upload for the SummerSlam review. I know you guys have been waiting for it. And if you enjoyed it, let's hit that 2,000 like threshold right now, man. Thank you guys so much. I'll be tweeting during Monday Night Raw tonight. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll find out what's going on, man. It should be a hot show coming from the Barclays Center. Will we see The Undertaker? I know a lot of rumors going around that The Undertaker's in town, but I'm not putting any stock in that at all. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Thank you so much for watching, and that's your SummerSlam review.